Welcome back everyone to another playthrough. Today we've got another Neo Geo game for you, Shock Troopers, which is a very Mercs / Commando style game. If you're familiar with it.
Vertical Metal Slug, yeah?
Vertical Metal Slug, yeah. It's, I've only ever played through this once myself.
I've done a couple of times.
Probably a good 10 years ago.
Yeah, but for me as well.
I remember enjoying it and thinking I will come back to it again.
It's a stunning game, you know, I mean, the feel of Mercs is just is uncanny, like, you know, although we've actually come into it quite late to double check, but I have a feeling some of the original Mercs development team might have had something to do with this. There's just too many little homages, isn't there?
Yeah, the feel is quite uncanny, isn't it?
Yeah, for the best reasons, or, you know, it would have easily been a Mercs sequel.
It does do a couple of things though to improve on the concept, and that's one, you can lock your direction of fire and things like that. And then you've got your grenades as sort of like a smart bomb, and you've got an evade as well. I think we'll get this on, eh?
Let's go for
it. Typical difficulty level will be 4 as standard on Neo Geo. We'll just watch this so we'll know exactly how to play. So you've got to press a button to fire, unlike mobile phone games. So yeah, you just keep the button held down to keep the direction, and you can still use your evade and grenade buttons while you're doing it. Yeah, not be using that much of it.
Every character's got a different type of super weapon as well. Some of them, I think 1 or 2 actually do have more of a smart bomb type weapon, although it's been a long time, so I don't think they all have. One guy has dynamite, I know that.
Should we?
Let's get.
Should we go Lonely Wolf or Team Battle? Lonely Wolf.
I think it is.
So apparently, Team Battle, you play 3 different characters and you get a bit more health. As well. I'm going to go with Arnold Schwarzenegger there.
Well, I'm quite happy to try every different character and see which one I like the most. As you say, we get a choice of 3 routes as well. Yeah, go the mountain route. Yeah.
Mountain route.
I know we have to do them all eventually, if I remember right. But
my character. He's a monster.
I mean, it just feels so much like Mercs, but so Neo Geo. I mean, this is great. It was a sequel as well, wasn't it? Second Squad. Some people prefer the first and second.
Yeah, I remember thinking I didn't enjoy the second.
Yeah, there's a few bits of slow down that and all, but I like them both equally for different reasons. I mean, the music in the second one's very memorable. Like, but I do like both games. Different story as well, and some very different team, very different squad of characters to play as and enemies to fight against.
A lot slower movement than Mercs.
Yeah.
In Desert Breaker.
Desert Breaker, yeah. Well, I think we need to get to that one day, because that is again a game that is just, some of you won't know about that. I mean,
Desert Breaker is basically Mercs by Sega.
Yeah, you know, when people call something a clone, I mean, Desert Breaker goes beyond that. I mean, it feels like somebody traced everything, but it's got a couple of little features of its own as well. But
speaking of traced everything,
I know.
It looks the same. This is the cliff, and there's
this here. I mean, here we go. I mean, this. And you cannot say there's no Mercs influence, you know. I mean, it was game done for the best reasons. Like, I've got a flame throwing shit.
It's the same cliff top.
I think it is.
I don't think it was the boss.
Oh, the boss is a helicopter man, isn't it?
Right.
Boss is a big helicopter. But that there is exactly what you. That was exactly what you fought at the end of the first level of Mercs, wasn't it? You fought like a Harrier. So. Yeah.
This is Mercs Plus, because you go across. Oh, you go across a bridge after. No, you don't.
A short bridge on Mercs? I keep thinking you did. I didn't think you walked straight. I can't remember. It's been a while.
I need to play it again.
Well, there's another.
The only problem with like Mercs and that, it's going to be in a vertical orientation.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose half a screen.
Yeah, I understand. I mean,
we wouldn't zoom the aspect ratio, so it'll look shit. So. Unfortunately, you'll have to just turn your TV on its side.
Yeah, or just like, you know, head 90 degrees, you know.
Yeah, go tape mode.
Yeah. I always thought it was pronounced tatty, you know.
Tatty.
For a long time. I used to just say that to sound better. I don't know. Maybe being sad.
Yeah, you just made a plum. Oh, more life up.
I mean, even the power-ups look so much like Mercs, though, don't they? I mean, the influence is clearly
minus the little chest computer. Oh no, that's the bomb thing, isn't it?
Oh, do you know what it is? I know what we've done here, because the mountainside's obviously this tank boss, but there's one boss that's definitely a giant helicopter for the starting trio of levels, if I remember right. But this is all reminiscent of the boss of level 2 of Mercs, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, I've accidentally picked team. Not to worry.
Well, it's probably good that you have at least.
Yeah, you pick the option, yeah, we'll get to
like,
see
you know.
it. Ah, yeah, I get you now.
You lost the credit, oh, that's my first life I've lost.
Yeah, I'm getting killed.
Must be those fingers, eh?
I blame this, yeah, I blame this thumb still.
Oh, nice. Oh, he's still alive. Shoot him.
He's aware. Invincible or not?
See, Arnie. Well, it was a good opening, I think.
I've got some story segments here, as you say, so...
I've got to love the audio on the Neo Geo. It's
oh, yeah.
It's unmistakable, isn't it?
I always fancied one back in the day, but this one, it was well out of my my pay packet, like.
Oh God, what was it, £550 or something alone just for the system? And that
about
was like
that, but the games were, some of the games were about the same price, even back then. I mean, because the idea being you were playing an arcade at home, and it was like a luxury to have that, you know. Why would you ever play the actual arcade version again? I'm sure it had a memory card system as well, and you could use that in the arcade machines. If I remember right, you could save your progress, so it's amazing that for the time as well. That would have been mind-blowing.
I've just, I think if I remember right, you know, you do all the levels of the mountain route and then fight the last boss.
Yeah, you do.
So in theory, there's 3 ways to play through this game
that
are completely different. So we should probably do all 3. Not today.
Yeah.
But like over you know, a space of a few weeks. Maybe.
I'm sure.
If that's what people would like to see, I mean, I think it would be a good idea.
Well, I don't mind an excuse to play this again. I always loved it. So I've played it a few times, but again, a very long time ago. It was easily 10 years when I last played Shock Troopers.
Yeah.
The second one, if I remember right, has routes, but it's got a smaller choice select, like a smaller selection. I think level, like the first start, I think you only get a choice of 2 routes. Could be wrong, you might not get a choice at all. It could be, because there was some criticisms aimed at the second game that didn't apply to this one, while some people prefer Shock Troopers 1 to second squad, so...
Actually, I definitely remember
slow down
the first one
more. What I remember, a lot of like enemies on screen at once. I think as well, one of the annoyances, right, and you might remember this, was when you shot the soldiers, they sounded like sails. Like not Navy sails.
What, like clapping?
Like sails, honest. Bark like sails, does a sail bark?
Climbing.
But the Metal Slug feel is unmistakable as well. I mean, clearly it's obviously
it's a lot calmer than Metal
Slug. Yeah, I mean, it's not Metal Slug, but you can tell it comes from that stable of more modern, like run and gun or, you know, shoot 'em up game. So that the aesthetics there and the feel, you know, so, you know, you're not just fighting Nazis or that. It's not like Commando from back in 1985.
It's a lot more playable. When I say I don't mean that in a bad way, like Metal Slug's a very good game, but it's very tough in a sense. It's an arcade game where this, you know, I've lost 1 life so far, or 2.
Yeah,
no, 1.
I haven't all, I think.
I think you've lost about 5 credits.
I've lost 1 there.
So, you know, it's definitely a lot more forgiving and plays more like a console game as opposed to an arcade game.
Is this the AES version actually, or is it the arcade?
No, it's the arcade MVS. I wouldn't put limited credits on a Neo Geo game. There's no way you're going to finish it.
No, well, that's the other thing though. I mean, the home versions, I don't think any offhand were really optimised for the home, so you were playing the actual arcade game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be at least a couple of cases where that didn't apply, I think. But, I mean, obviously you've got your difficulties as well, but you've got difficulties on the arcade version, so from what I've ever seen, there's been no real difference at all. It's always been the same game with the same degree of enemies, difficulty, etc.
Oh, I died. Oh, he says something when he comes back. I bet you it's like in Arnold Schwarzenegger's accent. I'm back.
Looks like you're playing as Sly though. Looks like Rambo.
It's a cross between them, isn't it?
Can't shoot the birds off.
Oh, try to jump. Ooh. Got it.
It's
got drum and bass tracks.
Let's try Little Fat Bloke. He's got, I'm sure he's got like a fighter bomb or dynamite or something. Him. It's like
very PC, is it? It's not very fat, actually.
He does. He's like a little fat Ghostbuster man. I think we've got boss coming. There we go, this is it. This is a bit of reminds us of he's toying something at him. Get out. This is how you do it, Mark. He's toying TNT, toying buckets at him, or he's toying tins of peas at him or something. Exploding beans or something like that.
Dirty bombs.
Look at that. But again, do you know what it is? One of the most iconic things just ever. It's always the same guy and all in them.
Oh,
It is this gunship. I mean, it's in every single thing from the 80s, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, everything. It's just such iconic aircraft. Like,
I finally lost the credit. Right, I'm going to play as the main character. Die, you shit.
he's like taking the place of that, like, what was he called, Sergeant Barnes or something? Out of the Metal Slug games.
Oh, I do. Yeah,
well, he keeps on coming. He keeps with a beard, you know. He's got a big minigun.
He's cool. Looking to destroy the world. What are they called? What's the
Cecilia?
baddies?
Oh, she's got. Well, he's not.
No, what's the? It's the Bloody Scorpions, isn't it?
Bloody Scorpion
Bloody
group.
Scorpions.
BSG. Aye, BSG.
BSG, aye.
Sounds like a disease.
Yeah, so level 3 of the mountain route. So in theory, there's like 21 levels, isn't there?
Oh. Is
it's a big game, aye.
Is that big? Like, I keep thinking it took half an hour.
No, it does, but there's 3 ways to play through it.
Oh, as you say,
nice. Halfway through, you get a choice of changing route.
Do you know what it is? I can't remember being. But I can't remember being that big. Like, as though you still eventually play all the levels. I don't know.
It doesn't look
it's
like
ringing a bell, like.
Do
you know what I mean? I couldn't. I don't think there's like 21 full-size levels.
I think
that's massive. That. Oh, come on, mow down. But yeah, definitely Desert Breaker though. A game. Definitely want to just mention a couple of words about this. It's with it being a run and gun, so it's thematically correct for the video. It's a Sega published and developed game. Let's have a look at some players. It does look, sound and feel just like Mercs, and it's from 1992, so a couple of years after. But it pretty much copies it exactly. It even has like rideable vehicles, which I haven't noticed on Shock Troopers yet.
Yeah,
I can't remember who get them or not, if that's something that happens. And the vehicles are bizarre. I'm not. Do you not remember the one that's like a walker, but it's yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
You know the one. We've got to do it just to show this.
Pointless. Was it a pointless vehicle, if I remember right?
It was pointless, but it's pointless, but it's got a point. You know what I mean? You know exactly what. We're not even going to go into detail now. It's probably best we'll just show all its phallic beauty, like when the time comes, you know. But it again, somebody's having a laugh. It's only got 3 levels, but the levels are like they're about twice the size of the levels in Merc. So the game's about 25 minutes, half an hour to beat. Mostly like futuristic, isn't it? I mean, instead of like fighting like a sort of modern army, like 90s modern era, anyway, you're fighting what looks like a futuristic alien army. So the bosses do reflect that. So it's a nice game, like, but like if anybody, I mean, needless to say, it didn't get a home release, you know that. So it was arcade only, probably cost. It seems to be very limited as well. I mean, you can get Mercs PCBs all the time, but you'll not get a Desert Breaker easily enough.
I don't imagine it did very well. Like it's.
Plus the year it came out. It's for 1992 as well. It's the only real sort of innovation, if you want to call it that, over Mercs, because it's got one feature, is that you can't pick your level earlier, but you do have a carpet bombing option, whereby at the start of every level you can choose a specific area of the level to bomb with a squadron of bombers. So there'll be 2 or 3 points you can pick, and you only pick one. So usually out of the 3 levels, it'll be the section that's got a mini boss or something. So why would you pick the one that doesn't? So there'll be this is a middle boss, I think. So it's just an interesting idea, but overall it's not really that useful, because it's given you a choice to do this, and you clearly would always bomb the same area.
Ow.
But again, it's trying something. It's a playable game though. Definitely need to do a video. Probably not many multiplayers out. I believe it's 3-player as well. It would be. I think it stays with Merc. In fact, it was probably created as a conversion for mostly Merc's cabinets, and then again even did Merc's come in a dedicated cab. It's quite possible that was a conversion itself. But definitely want to give a shout. But then, Mark, we're moving into other stuff like heavy.
Fight them.
About time. Heavy barrel, you know. The Kari Warriors.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, a Kari, you need a special stick, really, to play it.
Oh, we do, man, don't we? Heavy barrel, well, no, it's all the same.
Yeah.
We haven't got any setup for that, have we? There's nothing we could set up. You think? We're using shoulders, maybe shoulder buttons.
You could, yeah. You could set
that
up.
That's accessible. If you look, that'll be quite easy to do. Like, I think
I've had it working like that before. If I'm honest.
I think I have. I've done it. I think it's alright. It would be quite. It would feel alright. No, I think probably better than the stick, than the rotary stick.
Nah, rotary stick would be awesome. But you can buy those arcade sticks. But, yeah, I'm not prepared to pay a couple £100 just to play a Kari Warriors.
Would it be that much? Would it?
Ah, yeah.
What would be more of an actual arcade stick, though?
It'd be you'd have to buy the Senwa stick and put it in like an arcade box, like a box with basically set up.
Like a full size, huh?
Yeah, it's basically like a mini cabinet. So pick. Should we stick on the mountain route?
I would stay here, keep it high. Yeah. So if you're saying there's 3 very different routes, I thought you chose your level. So I thought you eliminated them 3 and moved on to another 3. So it has been a while.
See, there's your rideable vehicles after all.
Aye. But it might not be that. It might be like a level. You know what I mean? Like it's actually, well, it's turned into a shooter.
Oh.
Can't remember.
Oh, it was just an
oh well. Aye. Yeah, it's still a great game though. It's making us want to do 2 as well.
Yeah. Oh, we need to do 2. But we'll do this one fully first.
Well, for the channel though, I mean, I've acknowledged before, we do a lot of beat 'em ups, and I mean, it probably is my favourite genre of definitely that era.
It's
you know,
the arcade at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, so anyone watching and listening, you're always going to see a lot of that until we run out of them. But I mean, we love the shooters, and I mean, although I'm not the best fighting game player, I do love fighting games just because of basically the evolution of stuff like that. You know, starting with the very earliest games like Kung Fu and Street Fighter 1 into what they became today. So, just I'm shit at them. I don't know.
Very.
Apart from Mortal Kombat 2, but
no shit.
Trilogy. If I play as the bosses.
Just as well for anybody who's watching in cars. I
hope you do.
We're busy getting a recording studio set up properly for our podcast. That will be resuming in March approximately. And when we do that as well, it means we've got room for more people to play throughs together. So we'll be doing more 4-player.
There is certain games that we're deliberately avoiding, isn't it? For now,
Simpsons, all those.
Yeah.
Some of the Capcom stuff. And that.
Mainly because we want to try and get the full experience where possible. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously one of the greatest examples which should pop in anybody's head is the Turtles arcade games. But there's other slightly less well-known, but still no doubt excellent stuff like Violent Storm, which is 3-player, Vendetta. I mean, these are well, we mentioned tons of Konami games. They were like you've just said though. There's Capcom stuff that was more than 2-player as well, like Knights of the Round and Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Warriors of Fate. All great multiplayer games that move beyond the 2-player. And there's shooters like this, and obviously again going back to Mercs. I don't think was there any Neo Geo games that are more than 2-player. I don't think it had the capability.
I don't think there was. I think every cabinet was
I think it worked out. I mean, they were built for interchangeability, really, aren't they? So it just wasn't really a little bit slow down there. Wasn't really a practical thing, was it, at the time? But the great thing about the Neo was that it was built for that diversity, you know, and that versatility. I love big words. Being able to play multiple games, so you'll have a cabinet which would have.
It was a cartridge system, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Right. I mean, the thing is that they're still so well loved now as well. I mean, they're quite. Apart from being expensive, because some of the MVS kits are very expensive now, catching up with the prices of the EAS home releases in some cases. But collecting, if you've got money, collecting the actual Neo Geo MVS systems cartridge kits is not too bad because they're generally quite compact and they come with any extra artwork already locked in, and you don't have to worry about much else. It's not like an arcade machine where you might have to either buy a full conversion kit with umpteen different buttons and marquees, CPUs, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or worse still, having to buy a dedicated cabinet like something like Narc or Smash TV or something, you know. if that was your thing. That's a different guy now. So, as I say, if you were if you were into arcade collecting and that, and you had money, because it is still expensive, you couldn't go too wrong with getting MVS kits. One of my favourite games, actually, and I definitely wouldn't mind it go, but I don't know if you had much time for this, was Cross Swords.
Yeah, I like Cross Swords.
It's really good. I mean, both games are excellent. I owned that for a while, and it does play like.
Was the second one a prototype, or did it come out?
The second one is Neo Geo CD exclusive,
right?
Which I had, but in more recent years they've managed to. I'm not sure if they tracked down the prototype or if they managed to convert the CD format to prototype. I think it's the second one. So I think it's got the music and that of the first game in it, because they can't somehow transfer CD. Last time I checked was a good few years back though, so things might have changed.
Right.
Don't think they found the actual prototype. Could be wrong though, and they could have since I checked. It's been a few years back. But I love this. You're locked into this route now, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, Cross Swords, great game. Just lots of different. I mean, it tries to add a few little RPG elements in there now without going overboard. It's still effectively a first person.
Yeah, it was a good game. I like the way the combat works now.
It does it. You need to think about it. It is. Yeah, it is. It tries to be that, and it works. I mean, it works within. It's quite tough, like. But obviously, when you're playing with infinite credits, it's not so bad. It's just nice to see the full game. It chucks a lot of different things at you and some cool bosses as well, as does the second game, which I actually think is a bit better.
I don't think I've played the second one. I don't think I've ever had Neo Geo CD.
Well, it shouldn't matter now. With any luck, it's emulated now on this. It should be on MVS now.
The original, like with
the CD? Aye. Well, I played it on CD, emulated, you know.
Yeah,
I bought this, but I had to buy the original, and that was quite expensive 10 years ago. So, I mean, you could obviously burn an image, maybe, no. But if there's
blasphemy, Glenn. That sounds like you're trying to pirate stuff.
No, not at all. Burn it, as in burn it. Burn the pirates, burn the images, burn them to the ground.
Burn all.
See, this is Mercs. You see, I remember that, like these troop carriers. But Neo Geo, beautiful console. Obviously, there's many players. I mean, we're moving away a little bit from the source material here that we're playing, but Neo Geo is so well known for its fighting games, and I mean, generally they're always still considered second fiddle to Capcom, although only slightly. But you'll know that Neo Geo fighting games can stand on their own.
Art of Fighting 3 is one of the most impressive 2D fighting games.
I went through a phase where I wanted to get everything related to Art of Fighting. I was so impressed by all the games, you know. Even the first one with that amazing, massive sprites and the sprite scaling and it was so impressive, you know. But yeah, I mean, and 3's got its own story as well. It's what I'd even considered a side story in Japan.
Right.
But it's just such an impressive game. Didn't do very well, mainly because by 1996.
I don't know how it plays really good as well.
I'll tell you what it is, mate. It came out at the time where obviously 3D games were being pushed much more.
Of course.
But you had to beat Capcom, really. I mean, even SNK was starting to fall a bit by the wayside, unless you were one game series, and that's King of Fighters.
Yeah.
You know, you had to be King of Fighters to have it. It's down to content, mate. I think there's that much characters and that much to do that King of Fighters managed to hold its own because of what the amount of characters and that. So stuff like Art of Fighting 3 and even the later Samurai Showdowns, they were starting to fail a bit. I mean, obviously you had Garou, Mark of the Wolves and that as well. I mean, Fatal Fury had splintered off. Did you know Fatal Fury 1 is actually subtitled The King of Fighters? So Fatal Fury 1 is actually King of Fighters 0, really. Or some might argue, and this gets more complicated, Street Smart is Fatal Fury 0.
Makes sense.
It uses a few tunes. Some of the characters are very similar, and I love that game as well, actually. So there's another one for the channel. That's a good game.
I've never finished that game. I remember putting a few credits in the arcade.
I went through a phase now where I owned the PCB and I owned the Mega Drive version, which is quite different in some ways, but decent. But the arcade game's great. Yeah, I loved it. I love the arcade game. It's a year before Pit Fighter, so it feels like the sort of progeny, like it feels like the early Pit Fighter. You know, I mean, it's one or two players versus one or two enemy characters. You know, so it's closer to brawler in some ways than like a regular fighting game.
Yeah.
Pre-Street Fighter 2 though, obviously. But it feels like POW, doesn't it? It feels like playing POW.
Yeah.
So it's got that feel to it, obviously, with the game engine and the combat system being similar.
Soon, I think.
But yeah, I love Street Smart. All the enemies are great. There's only about 8 different enemy types, like Pit Fighter again. but they're all quite unique. You know, you've got a guy that I'm sure is meant to be. I think you should give it. It's half an hour. It's easy enough. But the final boss is massive and it's enormous. You think that the third level enemy is, I say boss, you know, opponent. The third level enemy is like a big guy who looks like a sort of cross between Hulk Hogan and maybe Earball from Double Dragon 2.
Got him.
And he's a big guy in that, but when you fight the big guy at the end, oh, Jesus, with a metal hand, but metal gauntlet anyway.
Metal gauntlet.
Yeah, pit fighter, but for Japan.
Yeah, aye.
But to say again, Street Smart's like pre-Neo Geo as well, you know.
Yeah, it is. Aye. What year is it? 89 is.
89 for that, yeah. 88 for Pow was so said, so I'd say to build on from that.
Pow, king of uppercuts.
Aye. Well, Street Smart uses that same sound effects, and for the uppercuts there, that uppercut does the same thing, sends them flying, but they don't fly off the screen.
No, they flip over.
Flip over, yeah, it looks class like.
Right.
Nice and meaty. It's a meaty game. Yeah, like.
It's like big.
Yeah.
Aye.
That noise. I don't know why it makes that noise, but I thought aye.
But it's going to be my next text message tone on my phone.
We'll get everyone into Street Smart. Mega Drive version's an unusual one. It's decent, but it plays quite differently. It loses a couple of opponents, but it has a new last boss who's clearly based on Mike Tyson, like he's called.
I forgot it came out on a Mega Drive.
Genesis and Japanese Mega Drive didn't get a power release. I owned that for a while. It gives the two playable characters a special move now, like a super move that uses a bit of health, like a normal brawler, and say adds in a new boss mode. A new boss enemy, and it oddly enough, it's got a gambling mode now. You don't have to play it.
Oh, so you can put money down on your win.
Turn it to Commando, Mark.
More points.
It was turned into Commando.
Aye,
you can. It gambles. You can win it by not playing it.
Yeah,
it's a logic in that,
it's an option.
So might go that route. I think we're going to beat this shortly. This one. I definitely want to go through this again, though.
Yeah, we will. We'll do all 3 routes. Not all together. We'll do it again in a week's time or so.
And then we've got 2 to do anyway. I think 2's got less content. I think that's what it is. It might only be 1. I think you can change routes, but I think you go through them all.
Right.
But again, I haven't played it for over a decade, like so. But we'll get to it, you know, because it's still a great game. I love them both equally for different reasons, like I said earlier. So, you know, the Neo Geo community, going by stuff I read 10 years ago, tend to prefer the first game, but I thought they were both excellent, like. But I mean, Blazing Star and what was it? What was the one? Pulsar as well. Was that the prequel one? Blazing Star sequel. Yeah. I mean, looking at the graphics on it, I mean, you've got Battle Isle 2. It's not called that though.
That's Prehistoric Isle 2, isn't it?
Prehistoric Isle 2. That's it, aye.
Yeah.
And again, the sequel to that, the prequel to that, sorry, was came out on possibly the same board as either POW or Street Smart, because it's about from that era, 89, I think. Haven't looked into it too much, but it's a good game and all that.
I always thought Pulsar was pre-Neo Geo, but it's not.
And it's early Neo Geo, and it's well, this brings us to another couple of early Neo games I've always wanted to give a shot of, and that's Cyberlip, which is again, it's like a proto Metal Slug to some degree. It's not as good, but it is a very early game, probably the first wave, and like Magician Lord and that, you know, being the earliest wave. But its story's just ripped off of Terminator, like, and it's pretty well done. I thought there's a nice little twist in that as well. I'll not even spoil it in case we end up wanting to play it.
I've played it.
I like the twist.
I've played pretty much every Neo Geo game that's available for emulation.
Yeah.
Even like Captain Comedy and that, which came later, you know.
Was that in about the last 10 years that came out? Like it was available?
I remember it was probably about 2008 or something when it became available for emulation, so it makes us think it's quite old. Nightmare in the Dark, there was
a problem with that, if I remember right. There had problems releasing it. I think it was either I think it was a beautiful game actually. I don't know if it was either unreleased till much later or they found prototype copies. There was some issues with the Neo Geo community which I'll not get into because it'll get political. I know there was just some dealers that there had been problems with. Bear in mind again, very expensive hobby to be part of. I mean, obviously game collecting is anyway, but the Neo was.
I can imagine they not want to release. If you've got something and it's very rare, not want to release it.
I think market something else. So mate, it's like this community is going by what I've read in forums and that. There's so much money involved, you know, that you get to the point where people are prepared to do things a little bit illegal to get what they want, you know, and I mean, people know that games like Kazuna Encounter, the European version of that, is extremely expensive, and there's many other games out there. When you're getting into 4 figures and even 5 figures in some case for a game, you're dealing.
Yeah, that was easy. Do you think he's dead?
No, I mean, and he doesn't come back in the second one though. So he'll come back on the next playthrough. Oh, he's alright, he's fine. Landing on some trees, he's fine.
Hi, he'll be hanging on the branch.
Yeah, he's hanging on the branch, aye. Yeah, he's got parachute.
No, that might be us.
Parachute. Oh.
Yeah, he's holding a Cecilia, whatever she's called.
Cecilia.
Wow, it's good. It's a good game.
Very good. Nice size and all. Well, you've been about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're now done. We'll just do them in order, won't we, though? So
we'll do the middle one next. So we'll do that in a week's
That's
time
really good replayability, though, for that time. Because, I mean, so we've got, what is that? That's 12, 18 levels? 18 levels? Was it 6 or 7 levels?
7, so 21 levels.
Maybe it's 21 levels now.
Well, the last level will be the same each time, I expect.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is because I've played through, but I have it. That's why I've played it more than once.
So
but I have a feeling.
Levels in theory.
I have a feeling, mind, that a couple of the levels are reused. So it might be a little bit less. It might be 16, 17 levels. I don't know. I have a feeling it's not a full game, but it could be wrong.
Well, we'll try.
You're just taking a route, aren't you? So you might cross through. But here, if it is or isn't,
well, it looks completely different on the map because you have 3 directions. So.
Aye.
But yeah,
but I think that's what it is. And the second game's only got 2 routes. So throughout the whole, so you've just got 2. So I think people say, well, you've just lost 33.3% of your content. Like
it should be called Shock Troopers 66 and a 6. 4 sixes.
Aye, yeah, honestly, yeah, it's getting broken, it's getting twisted.
66 and 2/3. Like
wasn't that like a Naked Gun film?
Yeah, 33 and a third.
Or was it Clear Fighter 33 and 64, 63 and 3/4 or something?
So that was it.
I'm sure they have unique endings there as well.
Yeah, it probably is a slightly different ending on each one. I must admit, I didn't pay any attention to that ending there.
But at least it's recorded.
Well, I'll watch it back at some point anyway. That's it, it's recorded forever now, so we can always come back to it.
Don't mind me bedhead, by the way, I had a hat on. It's my excuse. I'll be in the shower.
I try to look half presentable for when I'm going on camera.
I try to look like a gamer.
You need your Mountain Doritos and your Mountain Dew and your Cheetos or whatever it's called.
I just want a pint, maybe a nice pint of Guinness.
Aye.
Okay for the weekend. Okay, the weekend.
Not me. I've got here just to go out before and have a drink.
So that. 4 days away.
Milky, Loki, the Big Mama. They must have been all the characters.
Aye, Commander, the enemies, and I think.
Yeah. I think it did say the name of them when we were selecting them. We'll find out when we play it again. And
that's reminiscent of Mercs as well, though.
Yeah.
That is. Of the ending when they're driving, there's a drive-by.
Oh yes,
yeah.
But there's feed.
It's a Jeep. There's a Jeep and a bike, I think.
Yeah, it looks like something out of Swiv or whatever it is. Or is it Silkworm?
Oh, that where you've just opened up another can of worms now.
It's on the list.
But they didn't get released in the arcade, remember?
I know.
So we looked at SNES and Megs were really good though. So, and the sequels.
Well, that's it for us, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks again for joining us. And keep a look out because we will release the other 2 paths for this game as well. But
we've
for
got
now,
more to come as well, haven't we? So
drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about us, join us on social media, all of that jazz. And we'll see you next time. So take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye, everyone.